So it's the day after the lottery was chosen, the day after the lottery. And I know not a lot of Knicks fans are disappointed that the Knicks got the eighth pick. I am not disappointed the Knicks got the eighth pick because, as I said before, the Knicks are going to get a good player at 8. I'm hoping for either Okoro or Vassell at 8. Either one of those would be very good NBA players. Both of them can contribute right away. Like I said, there's not that many players in this draft that will be able to contribute right away. Those are two of them. But I have a trade proposal that's going to sound extremely crazy, I admit. So before you start killing me in the comments, I'm already telling you I know it sounds crazy, but hear me out. I figured when I saw the Golden State Warriors get the second pick, to me, it's automatic. You take Wiseman or Onyeka. You take one of those two guys because they have a trio of Klay Thompson, of course, Draymond Green, and Stephen Curry. They got Kevin Looney, who's he turning out to be a steal, a stud. They could use a rim runner, I thought. So I'm figuring no brainer. Wiseman, done. Or Onyeka, done. But then last night, with all the fluff and hype, which I can't stand, on ESPN surrounding the draft, which they do because that's how they get paid. One of the people that most of us basketball fans appreciate and believe is Adrian Wojnarowski. When Woj says something, pay attention because he knows something. And he mentioned that the Golden State pick is in play, which means that Golden State probably is looking to trade out of the second pick. Now, at first I thought this is silly, but then when Woj is saying this, I got to pay attention. He's one of the few people on the spectrum of analysts in professional basketball that I pay attention to that has never played the game. Guys that have played the game, I listen to. Like anybody that's a former NBA player. I don't care how bad an announcer they are. They have more knowledge about the game than these announcers who have never played the game, in my opinion. Woj is an exception. On the other end of the spectrum is an idiot like Stephen A. Smith. But Woj, when he speaks, I listen. So I'm thinking now Golden State is looking to trade this pick. So then I looked at Golden State's cap situation and wondered why would they want to trade this pick? Well, I'm looking at their roster. They got Andrew Wiggins on their team, and they're going to be paying him $30 million a year for the next 3 years. Now, Andrew Wiggins, let me be clear, he stinks. He's a terrible basketball player. He's got tremendous athletic ability. He may even have a little basketball IQ, but he's inefficient as they come. There is no defense to speak about. He cannot shoot a three-point shot. So what does he bring? I mean, he could dunk. He's athletic, but it doesn't translate into wins, obviously. So he stinks. I didn't understand why they got him in the first place. Why did they put him on their team in the first place? The Golden State Warriors will have a total salary for the team of $148 million for 2020-2021 season. That means with the luxury tax cap at $132 million, they are $16 million above the luxury tax. What does that mean? They're repeat offenders, which means that on the $16 million above the luxury tax, they're going to pay $3 for every dollar above the luxury tax as a tax to the NBA. So aside from the $148 million that they're paying in salaries, they're going to pay another $48 million in taxes to the NBA. Okay? Now, 3-time NBA champions, and I think they got another run or two in them with that core group. even though they're that successful, I don't think any owner wants to pay $48 million in a luxury tax. So here's the trade I'm proposing. Julius Randle, the 27th pick from this year's draft, and one of the 2021 picks we have next year. We have two number one picks in 2021. We have the Dallas pick and we have our own. I'm proposing Julius Randle, the 27th pick in the draft, and you're probably asking why would they not take the 8th? I'll get to that in a minute. And next year's number one. For the second pick, and which will become LaMelo Ball and Andrew Wiggins. So why would the Knicks do that? Well, they get rid of Julius Randle. We get LaMelo Ball, which, I mean, again, I am not on this hype train, a desperation for a point guard. I'm not. I like Frank Ntilikina, and I think he should start at point guard. But I totally understand why someone would get LaMelo Ball, because he definitely has all the tools to be a great NBA player, a game changer. Maybe not in his rookie year, but definitely going forward at some point. I definitely see, as he can develop, and I believe the Knicks now finally have a management team and a coaching team between what Leon Rose has put together, between Johnny Bryant, I think the guy's name is from Utah, Thibodeau, Woody, which they're going to bring Woodson on, I think, and then you're going to have. Then of course you got Perrin. These guys are going to develop players, so I think he's going to develop very nicely in New York. In spite of, and the biggest problem in New York is the fans. That's the biggest problem. They always think the grass is greener someplace else, no matter who they have. So I can guarantee right now, if we were to get LaMelo Ball before his rookie year is over, there'd be New Yorkers calling him a bust. That's just how it is in New York. It's terrible, but that's how it is. And that reverberates sometimes all the way up to Dolan's office, and he makes dumb moves. But I think we're getting past that right now, which is why we're getting major turning points. So anyway, we get LaMelo Ball, and we keep our 8th pick, which is going to again be Okoro or Vassell. Either one would be extremely good for us. And so that's why the Knicks would do it. Now, Wiggins plays the same position as RJ. Wiggins would come off the bench. We would not start him. I know it sounds crazy at $30 million, but we're getting LaMelo Ball and we're getting the 8th pick. So, we'll deal with that. And not only that, there's been rumors, it's just rumors at this point, but if you're paying attention to NBA news, that the NBA may be bringing back the amnesty provision because of the current situation with the COVID and so many teams. The majority of teams are over the cap, and they won't be able to raise the cap more than 100 to 115 million. They may not even raise it to that. So they may bring back the amnesty provision for this coming season. We can amnesty a guy like Andrew Wiggins and get him off the books. Okay. If not, he comes off the bench. See, because like Julius Randle, and let me go, why would Golden State do this? Julius Randle is not a terrible NBA player. He's not. But he's a terrible first option. He's a horrible first option on an NBA team, as we've seen last year. He's at his worst when he's depended on to be the number one option. Take, for example, case in point, a similar situation, Tim Hardaway Jr. Right now, in the bubble, he's killing it for the Dallas Mavericks. But the reason he's killing it is because he's the third option. Sometimes he's not even the third option. So you have, obviously, Luka's option 1. KP is option 1A or 2. Sometimes Stephen Curry, that's Stephen Curry, the brother, not Stephen Curry, his brother, Seth Curry, is the third option. And then you have Tim Hardaway, right? He's either the third or the fourth option. He can excel in that scenario, okay? Because he doesn't have to shoot X number of shots. He doesn't have to shoot 20 shots a game. He won't. So he's much more efficient, and he plays much better as a third option. Julius Randle is the same situation. If Julius Randle is a third option or a fourth option or a sixth man where he's playing against second units, he'll be very good in that scenario. Very good in that scenario. Problem with the Knicks is they signed him to be a number one option, which is a horrible thing. He's turnover waiting to happen. He plays very little defense. Terrible. So Golden State would do this because Golden State, he would be the fourth or the fifth option. Because your first option, obviously, is Stephen Curry. Then you got Klay Thompson. Then you got Draymond Green. And Kevin Looney is an option now. So that would make Julius Randle the fourth or the fifth option. He'd get a lot of one-on-one opportunities to do that stupid spin move, but he would be much more successful with it. He can overpower people one-on-one. They wouldn't be able to double or triple team him. Okay. His defense is still terrible, but Golden State has four players. No, three players, excuse me. Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Kevon Looney that can guard. They're all around the same height. They're all in that 6'7", 6'9" area, and they can all guard 1 through 5. That's one of the reasons Golden State has been champions. Okay, even before they got Kevin Durant, they had already set the record for most wins in the season and already won a championship. So those three guys can go, and the reason is not only does Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson shoot the lights out, which is of course big time, but they guard multiple positions. Now Stephen Curry's a terrible defender, but you put him and Randle, okay, so you got two terrible defenders, but you got three guys that can make up for that. Not only that, if Golden State picks in the top 10, they got to pay a heavy salary to a new player. They pay a lower salary at 27. Okay, they pay a much lower salary at 27. So this would cause Golden State to save $10 million because now you're sending $18 million to Golden State and you're getting back 29. So Golden State is losing $10 million off their luxury tax. That means they go from paying $48 million in the luxury tax to $18 million in the luxury tax. Okay, so I don't know about you. I don't care how rich a guy is. Any guy will take that. They don't want, if they could get away with paying $30 million less in a tax, they're going to do it. Okay, and so that's why I'm making this crazy proposal because I can see Golden State for financial reasons wanting to do this. I can see them because, like I said, Julius Randle as a fourth option is a very good player, and so I can see that. Andrew Wiggins for the Knicks, if they had him coming off the bench, and it's crazy at $30 million, but you got to play RJ. You're not going to start Andrew Wiggins at the 3. Even Brad Zdakas, Iggy, he's better than Andrew Wiggins. So you're not going to play Andrew Wiggins over these guys. And not only that, Thibodeau's not putting up with somebody that can't play defense. So I see Andrew Wiggins coming off the bench and playing against second units. Now you're talking about a guy that's going to look very good. See, guys like that, why you don't really look at stats as much, because you look at a guy like a Randle and you'll see or an Andrew Wiggins, with Andrew Wiggins or even a Tim Hardaway, they're playing as a third or fourth option. They become very efficient players. Their per 36 numbers looks tremendous. Whereas like they'll play 16 to 20 minutes and score 16, 18 points, and you're like, oh, they should play more. No, you're maximizing them in that scenario. So if the Knicks got Andrew Wiggins, he comes off the bench. The Knicks get LaMelo Ball. The Knicks get a Vassell or a Okoro. Two players that will help them immediately. The Knicks still will have $40 million in cap space. The Knicks can still get a Danilo Gallinari, 2 years, $40 million, second-year team option. He'll jump on that. Nobody's going to offer him anything like that. Okay, and we can start him at the 4. The Knicks can still get a Joe Harris or Davis Bertans, but I'm looking for a 2, so we can get a Joe Harris, 3 years, $54 million. He starts at the 2, third-year team option, $18 million a year. Okay, so this could be a good scenario. So here you're starting 5. I know people want to start LaMelo Ball, so I'll throw him in here. I think I'd rather start Frank because LaMelo would need to. I don't want to push him in his first year to be like a turnover machine. He's got to learn how to play defense. I really would like him to come off the bench, but I don't want any arguments with people. That's what I would do. I would start Frank, and I would start Joe Harris, and I would start Danilo Gallinari, and Mitchell Robinson, and RJ Barrett. But let's just go with what some other people, what a lot of these Rabbit fans would want. So let's say you start LaMelo Ball next to Joe Harris and R.J. Barrett, and you have Danilo Gallinari, and you have Mitchell Robinson. So now you're putting two really good shooters around LaMelo Ball. You got a slasher, a tremendous slasher, R.J. Barrett. To me, he's going to be Jimmy Butler 2.0. Jimmy Butler still can't shoot, but he's an all-star. He's a high-level player. He's a championship piece. That's R.J. Barrett. He's going to become just like that. Okay, I don't think he'll ever be a good shooter. And the reason I say that, I think Frank actually will be a good, better shooter. People think I'm crazy, but I think Frank will be a better shooter than RJ. And the reason, just look at their foul shooting numbers. Look at their foul shooting numbers. RJ shoots like 60% from the line. He's been doing that since college. Okay, and of course he shoots in the low 30s from the field. He has the talent to develop a shot, maybe, but I see him more as a slasher. Frank shot 86% from the free throw line last year. 86%. Okay, that shows you he can shoot the ball. He just needs reps and confidence. Okay, when he gets that, I see Frank not being like you heard of a 50 40 90 guy. I don't see that, but I see him being a 50 35 85 guy. Okay, 50% from the field, 35% from three, 85% from the line. I could see that. That's good enough. With his defense, that's good enough. Okay, so, but that's my proposal. Julius Randle, 27th pick from this year's draft, one of the number ones from Dallas, for Andrew Wiggins, the number 2 pick, and the number 2 pick. What do you guys think? I know it sounds crazy, but like I said, I told you why Golden State would want to do it. It saves them $30 million in tax dollars. They get a tremendous fourth option in Julius Randle. They get rid of Andrew Wiggins, who really doesn't fit with them. And then the Knicks would do it because they get the player they want in LaMelo Ball. They still get their 8th pick, which is going to be a very good player. And they they go from there. They go from there. Tell me what you guys think. I think, JN, I agree with you. Killian Hayes is an option. I don't think he gets past Detroit. Remember, Detroit picked 7th. They picked right before us. I don't think Killian Hayes gets past Detroit because I don't think Detroit's going to pick Halliburton. I don't want Halliburton because Halliburton is a combination of Frank and RJ. To me, that's what he is. He's not anything different from those two guys. And so he's not going to be that much better. So we already got those two guys. We don't want a Halliburton. I can see a Killian Hayes, but he's 18, 19 also. I think he's going to also be a very good player, but I think he doesn't get past Detroit at 7. I don't think Killian Hayes gets past Detroit. So that being the case, I don't think he'll be around. I don't want Cole Anthony. He's too inefficient. I see a lot. I remember his father. I'm old enough. I remember his father when he played at UNLV with Larry Johnson. And I remember his father when he came into the league. I never thought his father was a starter or that. I mean, he was a good complementary piece. And that's what I see with his son. He's a good complementary piece. I don't see him being any better than his father. I see Cole Anthony being a long-term Lou Williams, which is not a bad thing. A tremendous 6-man. But I don't think we should be getting hyped and thinking that he's going to come into New York and be LaMelo Ball or be Ja Morant. He's not going to do that. So I definitely like Vassell. Vassell is got, to me, I think he's one of these guys that's being underrated. Tremendous defense, 7-foot wingspan, has the ability to shoot the 3, can guard 4 positions on the court. Same with Okoro. Okoro is Okoro is Justice Winslow with better shooting ability. That's what Okoro is. He's athletic. He can guard multiple positions. And I think he's going to, he's not showing himself to be a great shooter, but I think he's going to be a good shooter. And so I like Okoro a lot. But I like Vassell also. So that's my proposal. LaMelo, the 2nd pick, and Andrew Wiggins for Julius Randle, the 27th pick of this year's draft, and one of our number ones from next year. We still get a number 1 next year. We're not giving away both. We give them the Dallas one, which is going to probably be the lower one because Dallas is good. And yeah, well, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Thanks.